Hey guys,
Happy November the 3rd. And today we're going to talk about value, guys.
value is
So,
important.
value is very important. And we're going to talk about 3 ways to measure the value of a personal brand. Now, a lot of people ask the question, so what is the value of a personal brand? How do you know when it's working? How do you know when it's making you profitable? How do you know when it's worth the time and money and effort that you invest in creating and developing a personal brand? Those are the three things we're going to share with you guys today. All right. I'm Tanya Eberhardt, founder of BrandFace. We help business stars differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding. And we're so happy to be here today sharing some of these tips with you.
Yep, I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was actually a client before I became a partner in the company. We're the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe. And if you are an entrepreneur of any kind, way, shape, or form, then you need a brand. All right. Today, what we're talking about is how to measure the value of your brand. And let me start by saying that value is measured in so many different ways. And today we're discussing just 3 of those ways, but we feel like those are the 3 most important ways that value is measured. If you realize the value of any one of these 3 things, then you realize exactly how important your personal brand is to the overall success of your business. So we tune in right here. We'll go through them fairly quick. We won't take long, but these are very important.
Well, value is a word that gets thrown around a whole lot, right? And we're going to talk about, several things with regard to that today. But the number one way that you measure whether your personal brand is working for you or the value of that personal brand is the ROI of your marketing, right?
Mhm.
So let's face it, whether you're spending a lot of money or little money, you're spending time, money, and effort to market your brand. So we want to make sure that number one, when you define that brand, when you are trying to figure out who it is exactly that you're speaking to, who is your customer, you need to know that so that you can articulate what sets you apart and why that customer should be choosing you. It needs to be compelling, right? So regardless of whether you build out your brand, you're still going to have to market. So you've got to ask yourself, well, how impactful is my marketing going to be if I can't articulate those things? And I
Mhm.
like to tell this story that I learned years ago in the media world. I started my media career in radio, and I noticed right away there were so many people spending astronomical amounts on marketing. And I also noticed that a lot of their marketing truly just sucked. I'm just going to lay it out there. It did. It was, and I'm not the only one that noticed it. A lot of people noticed it. And they would even tell me, hey, my marketing kind of sucks, right? So you had to step back for a moment and say, why does your marketing suck?
Mhm.
And almost every single time it comes back to the brand. Who are you
Right.
talking to? What are you saying to them? And remember, guys, that brand has to answer, like a great personal brand has to answer 5 critical questions.
Yeah. What
Yep.
sets you apart? Who do you serve? How do you serve them? What qualifies you to serve them? And how does it make their life better? Your
Yep.
brand has to answer those 5 questions
And
all the
when
time.
when I got into the marketing world, I noticed that people got to the top in their industry and market one of 2 ways. They either outspent and outdelivered their competition, or they outmarketed and outdelivered their competition. Now, if you're a marketer and you're spending thousands or maybe even hundreds of thousands a year on marketing, you do not want to be in the category of outspending your competition.
Been there.
It's great, right? It's great if you got the money. It might be a thing of pride, but I would personally never want to say, oh, well, I got there by outspending everybody. I
Right.
would want to get there by people knowing who I am, what I stand for, and deciding that I'm the best choice for them, right?
Mhm.
And if your brand is really dialed in the end, you don't have to spend quite as much money as you do as if your brand is not well defined. Think about that for a minute, because the only alternative then is just to pound them over the head with the fact that you exist.
Right.
Okay. So you want to be in that out market and out deliver category, and you can't be in the out market category if you don't out brand. All right. So that's number one. Number one way to measure the value of your brand is the ROI of your marketing.
Yeah. If you got terrible ROI, you don't have a good brand.
Yep.
All right. Number two is comparison to your competitors. Okay. Not you comparing yourself to your competitors, because that's the first thing we will teach you. And I'll teach anybody in business. Do not compare yourself to your competitors. All right. I'm talking about from your clients and your potential clients and customers' viewpoint, the comparison to your competitors. At the end of the day, your personal brand has one job, and that is to build the value of you and your work. And the value is really built upon two different things from your customer's eyes. What the client sees as valuable. Did they see you as valuable? Is your messaging valuable to them? Is what you're portraying valuable to them? Some people prefer speed over quality. Some prefer long-term growth goals over immediate profit. The list goes on and on and on. But the real number one way the number two way how to measure whether or not your personal brand is actually working is whether your client sees that as valuable. And if you don't have people calling you up saying, I see you and I want to work with you, I've seen you online, I've followed you and I want to work with you, then you don't have a brand and you're not getting that value out to your client. Okay. The second way is value in comparison to something or someone else who is in the same craft. All right. When you elevate your personal brand, then you're telling people, your potential clients and customers, that your value in both of those categories. Okay. And if you don't elevate your brand, then they view you as just the same as everybody else. Oh, it's just another realtor. Oh, it's just another attorney. Oh, it's just another insurance agent. It's just another coach. Right. If you don't teach them what the value is, that you are the value add to their life, how it makes their life better, then they're going to lump you in with everybody else. It's just another car salesman. Right. Okay. And so your personal brand is the only thing that is going to make that difference. Absolutely. And that's number two, comparison to your competition.
All right. Number three way to measure the value of your personal brand is one of my favorites, stickability.
You got to have stickability, folks.
You do. So the questions you start to ask yourself, if you have a great brand defined, developed, and displayed, is, are you starting to hear comments from people about your marketing, or maybe even mentioning your brand identifier, right? And that is, what is the one thing that sets you apart from everybody else? Do current clients recommend you, for specific reasons? Think about this. If you have a referral based business for a moment, yes, it's fantastic to get referrals, but there's really a big difference between, hey, you should use Tom and he did a really, really great job for us. And oh, you've got to call Tom, like he's the lifestyle locator and he can make sure to market your house to people looking for the specific lifestyle and area that you're in. Mm-hmm. Okay, which one is somebody likely to remember? And better yet, which one is somebody likely to feel more like it was made for them? Right? That's a huge difference in stickability, remembering what you stand for. And if you don't have that brand dialed in and pulled together, it's like we've talked about before, putting a whole book out because your brand is your story. You're putting the whole book out, but you're trying to cram the contents of the book, all of the contents of the book on the cover. It doesn't work that way. So the stickability is that 175-mile-an-hour drive by, grab you, captivate you, hold your attention, and get you to want to say, hey, let me learn more. Okay. So you want a personal brand that people remember. In the media world, we aimed for what we called the TOMA, TOMA, top of mind awareness, and nothing beats that. That's right. And not just because you're spending a whole lot more money than your competitor just to pound your name into their heads, but what is it about your name? What is it about your company, about what you stand for and what you want them to know? What are those things you want them to know? That's what's missing from a lot of marketing these days.
A lot. And it only equates in a waste of money. Okay?
Yes.
So let's summarize this once more. 3 ways that you can measure the value of your personal brand. Number 1, do you have a good ROI on your marketing? Number 2, What is your comparison to your competitors from your client's viewpoint? And number 3, do you have stickability? Are they repeating to you the things that they've read about you? Are they repeating to you when they contact you your brand identifier? Something that from your sound bites, something from your biography that stuck to their mind about you and how you can help them. If you're not getting those things, guys, you're either doing one or two things. You're not growing your business other than by hard work. You're living transactionally. So you're getting done with one transaction and you're looking for another transaction. That's not building a business. When you start to dial in your brand and your brand starts to work for you, then you start figuring out how you're going to handle the business. You're not going looking for the next business all the time. It starts to layer up on you. So we encourage you, please, to dig some more and really look into whether or not you have a good, strong brand.
And I want to say this last thing for those of you we hear from a lot that say, you know what, I want to be known for something and I want people to seek me out instead of me constantly having to chase them. And a great brand will actually do that for you guys. Now, here's what it does not mean. It does not mean you're never going to have to market again. Okay. It doesn't mean you don't have to do that.
If you're going to be in business, you got to market.
You still have to put it out there. But wouldn't you rather market with this awesome brand that positions you exactly where you want to be positioned in the minds of your ideal customers? Because that makes all the difference, guys. And if you don't have it, guess what you need to do? Discussyourbrand.com. That's where you need to go.
Yep.
All right.
That's the fix. That's the remedy.
It is. So you can learn a little bit more about what we do during that call. But basically, we're talking about your challenges, your goals, and exactly what it takes to get you where you want to be in terms of your personal brand. So discussyourbrand.com, guys.
All right, folks, that's what our story here today. We do these things for prosperity. And when I say prosperity, I'm not just talking about money. Money is just a part of prosperity. I'm talking about the 360 of an abundant life that we truly wish for every one of you guys out there. We know here at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, folks, especially with your brand. Finish up strong in 2021. And thank you, Ms. Tanya.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you this time next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.